Hey buddy, Mr. Mo here with another little tutorial. So I want to show you really quickly how to do some title screens and some quick effects. So first thing I want to show you is how to do a title screen. So I'm going to come over here to my titles and click on titles. Okay. Now this pops up over here. Sometimes it takes a while to load, as you can see. And it's gone to my frequently used. A lot of you guys are just going to see this when you open your titles. Okay. I like to go here. You can go to whatever you want. Look for motion titles. That means they're going to move and stuff. I like to just go to the classic title and generally go to general. So I'm going to go to general, and I like to go just with this title screen. Now you do what you want, but this is the one I like to use. So I go here, and I'm going to drag my title screen over to here. Okay? And if I want to adjust the words, I'm going to double click on the title screen. Okay? Then I can click up here in the text, and I can type in hello. Or let's do Mr. Mo. That's a good one to do. So I will type in Mr. Mo. Now if I want to move my text, maybe because it's a little off center, I go to this arrow, and now I can move this wherever I want. Okay? So I can move my text there. Let's say that I want my text to look different. I can highlight it and come here. And you guys should spend more time on this with your text, because that's part of making a movie kind of cool, is having cool font and whatnot. I can go to color, and I can give it this red color if I want. And so I think that looks kind of nice. And again, I can move it by clicking on that arrow and moving it all around. Now, some of you might be sitting there and you're like, okay, but I don't like the black background. I want it to look different. So what you would need to do is go here to shapes and click on this little square. Now with this square, I'm going to draw over the front of my Mr. Mo. I'm going to go to the color, and let's say I want it to be green, and then I click OK. Now, since I covered up Mr. Mo, I'm going to then just type it again because I covered it up. So I type Mr. Mo back in there again. I can go back to my text and put the little style on it that I want. I can make it red again and go with that. Click my arrow to move it around. And there I have my title screen. Okay? Now, a lot of you want your title screen, so I'm going to hit Control-Z and undo some of that stuff. A lot of you guys want your title screen on top of a picture, or maybe even on top of your video. So I know that this looks like it's black, but really it's transparent. And to put this on top of a picture or video, you have to click on it and drag it up above. And now you can see my title is on my video. So that's how you do that, is you drag it up there to video too. Now look, what happens sometimes is you guys will drag, you see my arrow over here? I'm going to make it into this thing. And now you can't see the title screen, and some of you, you get there and you're like, Mr. Mo, I can't get this stupid Mr. Mo off my screen. Well, that means you have a title screen. And you're like, nuh-uh, look, there's not a title screen on my workspace. Well, if you click in the middle here and you drag up, sure enough, there's lots of other video lines where you can put this, and sure enough, there is a title there. So I'm going to put my title back down there. I want to show you, another thing, with title screens. I'll click back on the title screens. Before you get too crazy with them, you can go to Style and choose crazier font, cooler looking font. You can go to Animation, and this is where you can have your text kind of fade in or fade out. You see how the characters were moving there? So you can kind of play with that, and you should, you'll have to drag this down. I don't know why it's not dragging down. It's kind of annoying. But you should just be able to drag those in. I don't know why mine's not letting me drag in, but I can help you with that if you can't get it figured out. What I want to show you now really quickly, one way you can fade your videos out. So you can add a keyframe. We talk about these. I'm going to add the keyframe, though, to the video. So I'm going to go to my video. My video has those yellow lines just like my audio does. So I can add a keyframe to my video, okay? And then I can click, actually I want to make two of them. I always like to make them in pairs, right? So now I click that one and I drag that down, and you're going to see my video fade to black. So I've now faded my video to black, and it fades into my title screen. Okay, so that's kind of a cool way you guys can fade. I'm not going to go into crazy detail with these effects and things like that, but guys, there's lots of cool effects you can do over here. If I go to Hollywood, I can go to old film and drag old film on top of my clip over here like I just did, and now when you look at this drummer clip, it looks like it's an old movie, which is kind of cool. So I can go back to effects, and maybe I want to do like a horror, because horror movies have a general feel too, like a darker feel. And so you can do all kinds of things to your video clips by going to your effects here and looking through these. Pretty cool stuff. There's some audio ones too that you can mess with. I haven't messed with that a ton, but I'm sure some of you guys will mess with it, and it could be kind of cool. Let's talk about transitions real quick. Transitions are for in use between clips. So here's another way to do a fade, a dip to black. So if I click on this and I drag it between my two clips, I can hit between clips. I want the duration to be 2 seconds, and I hit done. And now this should kind of dip to black. You see how it faded out? So it faded out and then faded back in. That's how you can use some of these effects. And there's 3D. I mean, there's all kinds of the different transitions. So there's lots of stuff like that you guys can do with your video. Ultimately, guys, there's like endless stuff, so much that I can't teach it all, but I can definitely help you guys if you want to try to do some effects or add some transitions. So hopefully this has been helpful. Ciao!